No, he's not. He's here.
Not really.
You sing it so well.
Yeah, it's because we're really into it, mate. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Last Seven, a Newport-based podcast and not so philosophical wax regarding the last 7 days. I'm your host, as always, Dan Rowley. Joining me today, Kenneth Trainer.
Hello, everybody.
And Antonio...
I don't know why either.
No, that's okay. And Antonio Romola.
Hello.
How you doing, mate? All right?
Yeah, it's good, thanks.
All right. And Marilyn.
Well, hello,
of course.
Marilyn.
Cat.
I might do a lot of singing, like Disney or R. Kelly, whatever.
Pretty good, actually, mate. I've got to say, I think you... Yeah, I was impressed.
Thank you, John.
Not bad singer.
I also sang.
Yeah, you were okay. A bit too much, though, coming from your
A
lungs.
bit too much.
Yeah.
A bit too much. Too deep.
Too deep.
Yeah, too deep.
Say about Barry White, would you? Too deep? That was too deep. What do you think of
Oh,
him?
no, but he can get away with it because he was a black soul singer, so he can do that.
It's a fucking brilliant point and well made there, Tone. I'm not Barry White.
And you never will be.
Wow,
Well, he's
you're,
dead,
you're
so-
white, but you're not Barry White.
No. But
Tone.
no, but what about Jack Black?
Oh, yeah, good point.
But no, it's the same thing, isn't it? He's not black.
Huey Green.
Perry White from the newest Superman, who's played by Lawrence Fishburne.
Gordon Brown.
You look very young, mate. You shaved off your beard and all. Of course, it was your
What's
last
going on?
performance.
I know, I look so young when I'm clean shaven. People reckon I look like 16 when I'm clean shaven.
That's not too bad.
Not surprised, mate. Yeah, you do look considerably
Strange.
younger.
But I was going to go on to say about your last show with Tin Shed, or rather your last Frankenstein. I'm sure you'll be back.
Yeah.
But on that day beforehand, I got asked for ID in Asda.
No way.
Yeah,
This
he's
fucker.
got a few enemies in there.
I haven't.
You must do, mate.
Enemies.
Maybe they.
I never ask for fucking assistance. Never do anything. They just see me there all the time, pottering about, wearing the same crap.
Yeah, and the
Maybe they
resentment is
think
built up. That's why I never talk to any of them, mate.
I don't talk to any of them unless I have to. Unless they think I fucking work there.
Dude,
Then I have to lie about working there.
maybe they
That's
think
not
you
bad.
shop. Maybe they think you shop like a younger person, like a teenager.
I'm there a lot, mate. I've been going
Like,
there.
what are you buying? Like,
Is shopping style something that people know?
oh yeah, it might be buying. You might be buying like.
Here comes
Here
four
it comes
apples,
some-
2 pairs of
Everyone-
You might be
some
trying to
insider
buy, like,
knowledge.
Red Square, you know, with like
Red Square.
with like
and,
Dairy Dunkers or like one of those Dairy snack box things.
No, I wasn't buying like packed lunch. I wasn't buying like
G-string?
balloons. I was buying some Froobs. I was buying a Baby Bell, and I was buying crustless bread. And yeah, some wine. And they were like, "No, this shopping does not match. Where's your mum and dad?" Is shopping style something you notice?
No, well, yeah, I reckon you can tell if someone's like a bit posh or if someone's a bit like, you know, poor or like by what they're buying,
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, because
or if someone's
Well, by how much they're spending.
or someone's like really like uncreative with their cooking.
I'll take the banana and that chocolate, please.
Yeah, I know. Apple pie again, is it?
Well, I don't know. Like, I get this guy. He comes in the shop, and every other day he comes to the shop, and he always buys stuff for stews. That's all he cooks is stew.
I can't fault a stew, mate.
Yeah.
How
No,
good
there's-
is stew?
Is he really healthy
No,
looking?
there's people that just come in and buy like one tomato and one mushroom. What do you do with one mushroom? They're like, oh, it's only me.
Throw it in the bin.
And they always crack the same joke. Oh, here's for the one for the big spenders, and I'm like, oh. how many
Yeah,
times
you're
have
telling me because you're actually the one taking the money. You're going,
Yeah, I've
I,
heard that.
I resent you in my shop, is what you're saying, and you're totally right. Tell us about your last performance with Tin Shed, mate.
Oh, right,
How
yeah,
was
we
it?
went off a bit there, didn't we? Oh, it was awesome, man. It was just a real good buzz about it. It was really weird knowing that not only was I doing that show for the last time, and it was like a really sort of special and exciting show for us, but it was also the fact that I was doing the very last performance with Tin Shed.
Yeah.
And just knowing that, made me so nervous, like in an excited way, because I was really like, I kept imagining a perfect show in my head and everything before doing it, and I was thinking this is gonna be great. The audience are gonna be buzzing. We're gonna be buzzing. We're gonna be like just really going for it, and it was like that. We did go for it. It was fantastic. It was,
it was pretty solid as well, man. It was a good show.
Yeah, and yeah, it felt quite emotional. Like when I was for the bits there where I was off stage, I found myself watching as much as I could from the sides.
Yeah.
You know, the action, knowing that I was going to be watching it for the very last time, knowing that I was going to be watching Justin do this scene as the Barker for the very last time ever, you know, watching George do her funny things as Bathilda the Bearded Lady for the very last time. It was really great. So I was stood behind the tent just peeking out watching it and feeling quite emotional about it and stuff.
It was great, mate. It was really, really, really good. A few people I told about it from work. There was the 3 guys from work that came. Really loved it, mate.
Good. It was just really great to be performing it in the venue that we first ever performed it in. No, you know, doing it for the last time in that place was just perfect, really. Perfect end to my time at Tin Show.
Big up to Barnabas Arts House, that's owned by our landlady.
Yeah.
Down straight. It was great, mate. And you had a lovely speech at the end. Yeah. Lovely drink afterwards and packing some stuff away.
Yeah.
Justin slept on that couch pretty much for most of the Saturday. Because we got up and we sort of slept a bit more, and then like we moved sofas and then had a bit of a sleep and then went out for food and then came back and had a bit of a sleep.
See, I can't believe how close he was to the venue. And he was supposed to have gone there and packed all the van for me ready for when I finished work so I could go there, get in the van and drive it home. And he failed to do that. I got there and he was in the building and he'd only just started. So I had to help him do something I was never supposed to do in the first place.
Do you know why he left?
And it was
Because
just
me and Ken were going out.
he was so close all day and he didn't bother to walk out the front door and start. Oh, he did apologise loads, but my God.
He was asleep most of the time. They both were. I'd come in at one point. They both just laying on these sofas.
With a cat sleeping as well.
Yeah.
Lovely image.
I should
She
have.
does that anyway, though, doesn't she?
When I got there, knocked on the door and he let me in and I'd seen it and done it all, I should have just gone, right, well I'm going home then. Let me know when you've done it, I'll come back and get the van.
Oh, we should be, to be fair to him, well we shouldn't be fair to him, but he's not here to defend himself.
Yeah.
He is of course abroad.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a joke when it happened. It just happened that Justin had travelled a bit more. But now it's taken the piss.
Do you reckon he's doing it in alphabetical order? Because it was America, and then fair play, he skipped B to go to C and did China, and now he's doing Bulgaria, so...
So where is he going to go next? Denmark?
Yeah, exactly, maybe he's doing the alphabet. Denmark next, yeah.
Ethiopia, France,
Deutschland.
we've had D.
No, France, Germany,
Yeah,
Hungary.
Italy.
He has to do that now,
Jamaica.
doesn't he? Because he started it,
He
so...
started it, so he might barely finish it, yeah.
Kenya,
You jumped to M as well, though, didn't he? He did Marrakesh already.
Luxembourg.
Yeah. Let's keep him in Europe so we can nip
Oh,
back and do
okay.
the podcast.
Yeah, might as well.
Luxembourg, though, it's a bit of a strange country, that, isn't it? Very small, not a lot there, is
Small
there?
and landlocked, isn't it?
Yeah, strange, isn't it?
LM. He's been to Morocco. Can we have that?
No, let's send him somewhere else.
Okay. Mali, Nigeria, Nicaragua.
We haven't sent him anywhere in the Americas, really. I know he went to
America.
USA.
Yeah, of course,
He
right.
hasn't been to into South America or anything like that.
All right,
We
okay,
didn't send
so-
him to any fun countries. You know?
Oh, okay, yeah, Nicaragua.
Yeah,
then,
like
definitely.
Brazil.
Well,
That's fun.
we sent him
Well,
to a slum.
that's his own problem, though,
Send
isn't
him
it?
to Brazil.
Slumming it in Bulgaria.
Oh.
Ooh, what is O?
Is there a country that...
There are going to be people shouting at their computers right now.
Oh, I hope so. Both of them. Going, it's... you... If there are any countries beginning with O, please email us thelast7podcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter @thelast7 and just write
What about
it in
Ohio?
big letters. No, there's plenty of places that begin with O, but we can't because there's no countries that begin with O.
No, there isn't. Oh,
Peru.
well, the game stops there then.
No, we'll go back to O.
There's
Yeah.
not going to be an X, so we might as well
Oh yeah,
accept that.
Xylopholalia. It's off the coast of Fiji.
Well,
Like
if we could
everything's
just
off the
make
coast
them
of
up.
Fiji. I'm really upset about that O thing. But I didn't figure
Oh,
in
skip
X.
to P. Poland.
Yeah, occupied France.
Russia.
All we need is a time machine and just in.
Spain. We're on T now.
We're on T. Tuvalu.
Fuck, that's
Ukraine.
Yeah.
Tuvalu. That's a
Ukraine.
good one I want to get to. Oh, good one,
Venezuela.
Yep.
We're on T.
W. Wales, you can come back and do the podcast.
X. Xylophonalia, as we said.
Yeah.
Why?
And of course,
Zebraland.
Zimbabwe. Or Zebraland.
Oh, we missed Y, mate.
Are we?
Yeah, Yugoslavia.
Oh, well,
Well.
can you think of anything wrong with that?
Oh yeah, it's spelled wrong.
Nope.
Isn't it spelled you?
Nope.
Nope. What's that then? No longer country.
No longer.
That's the anime, yeah.
You'll have to go to the Yemen.
He enjoys fishing. Fancy a bit of This Week in History, chaps?
Yeah, go for it.
We've obviously got this lovely...
Now that we've been around the world.
It's the sound of war, really. It's like siren. This week in 1980, Tony, I'm afraid John Lennon was murdered.
Oh.
Do you know by who?
Mark David Chapman.
That's right. Played by Jared Leto in that film.
Who they reckon was brainwashed by some.
Oh, was it reading Catcher in the Rye?
To kill him.
Is that right? Or was it To Kill a Mockingbird?
No, Catcher in the Rye.
It was Catcher in the Rye.
So when he was, obsessed with.
Kill all the phonies. Brilliantly lampooned in South Park with the tale of Scroty McBoogerballs. Chuck a link up to that.
Okay.
Awesome. This week in 1989, of course, the first openly pro-democracy public demonstrations in Mongolia happened. So, my boys, kicking off this announces the establishment of the Mongolian Democratic Union, which is still the government there today.
My boy's kicking off.
Yeah, we're always kicking right off and going, I fancy the vote. And, whatever Khan was in charge at the time going, I don't think so. Shia Khan, probably. Said, no, they're like, no, we do want the vote. And everything was fine. No bloodshed, it was great.
Give us back our yaks. We need them to get around.
Not to mention milk for drinking, yeah? We have to survive off this one emaciated yak.
And what's happened to all the axes that we've had built? Where's they all gone? We need them.
That was the promise, wasn't it?
Yeah.
By the pro-democratic party, axes and yaks for every man in Mongolia.
How can we build our houses? How can we build our tents without axes?
Yeah, just an axe, no materials. Build it from those yak bones and fur. But what about a yak? Breed the yaks.
Yak skin.
This guy's amazing. Yeah, a yak skin roof. Waterproof, edible, smells like vanilla when it rains. Alright, it's a question. It's from This Week in History. It's a question for you both. This week, Joseph H. Rainey becomes the second African-American congressman in the USA. What year do you reckon that happened? Only the second black congressman happened in this year. This week. Not this year. The year I'm gonna mention.
Literally this week, like on
What
Monday.
country? America.
Yeah.
USA.
I reckon 72.
1972.
Yeah.
Nice guess.
I'll say 82.
1982. Joseph H. Rainey becomes the second black congressman this week in 1870.
Oh,
Ooh.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm so glad we were
I wasn't
so
expecting
wrong.
that. I don't get that. How's that happened? How is that ever possible? How did that happen? How did they allow for there to be a black congressman?
I think in places like Louisiana, some of the earlier places, I think they were predominantly black.
Mm.
So you'd have as a representative, I suppose.
Oh right, yeah, I guess so.
But no, but I see you're right. It's counterintuitive, isn't it? Tone, we're going to go on in a minute to talk about the re-education of Antonio Romola. What have you brought?
Right, well, yeah, Dan, you actually asked me to go and dig through my philosophy and ethics papers, my essays that I'd written for that.
Yeah.
To bring in today. But the thing is, when I was looking through that stuff, I actually found that the essays I'd written for philosophy were quite good. They were actually quite good, and I didn't want to bore you with like really profound writing. Antonio Romola, at the age of 16, writing some beautiful things about the world and
I think we'd find something in it that was noteworthy, mate. Do bring them along. 'Cause
I
I'm
will bring
interested.
them. I'll bring them next week. But anyway, in the process of digging out all my old school books and looking through everything, I came across some quite interesting things that are actually quite embarrassing as well as amusing.
I've got the physics book here.
Right.
I've got the Antonio Romola A10, so year 10, so 14, between 14 and 15 years old.
Uh-huh.
Your physics book, and your physics teacher was Mrs. Front.
Mrs. Frost.
Oh right, Mrs. Frost. I complimented you on your handwriting earlier.
Good start.
Good start, yeah. Mrs. Frost. I've taken a photo of the front of it, so I'll chuck a link up to that, obviously. Chuck it on the Facebook page as well. But on the back, somebody's written just "I am gay," set 5, and you've scribbled that out nicely. You've done a burning
Train.
Yeah. You've done a train and the cart spelled out Antonio, and it's kind of on fire.
Is it a train?
I think it is, because I think initially it was smoke like it was a steam train, but then...
Yeah, it's certainly on fire. Isn't it? But Ken, if you'd like to turn that over and just have a look at some of the fucking cracking stuff on the front of that.
That's great. That's Kenny from South Park, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but with
Park,
several
right.
arrows in his head. And
Oh yeah, and devil horns. Been killed a few times. This is amazing, Tone. The staple, like, half hanging out.
Staple.
Because it's been in a bag and...
It's really good. Ken,
What's this? See me.
Oh, I've got it. He's told me.
Yeah, well, basically, yeah. So as you've seen, the cover is in a pretty awful state, or drawings that.
What's the thing in the middle? Is it a bat out of hell?
Bat out of hell. A bat out of hell in the middle.
Oh, of course, right. Because it's out of the fire.
The little pig face. Obviously, they look like pigs, don't they? And then I don't know what I've got. I've got some weird guy who looks like a band member from The Madness, stood on a zombie trying to rip itself out of the ground with an arrow going through his head and a crucifix sticking out of its shoulder.
That's a dagger, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like he's been stabbed.
I don't know. Yeah, and also the guy that stood on him, who looks like a member out of The Madness, has got a thing
Just called Madness,
growing out of
aren't
his hair, like a face coming out of his hair.
they? I think it's
Really
awesome.
weird.
Can I have the book back quickly?
Someone's written on the top of it, "I am gay," and then I've tried to scribble that to hide from the teacher, but I haven't done a very good job at hiding it.
Yeah, I don't think she's bothered by the drawings. I think it's the big fucking black marker pen with "I am gay" written on it, not in your handwriting, and you try to scribble it out with a biro. So we open it up, and the first thing we see is an arrow on the inside cover pointing to the front cover. And it says "See me, read the cover of this book." He's written a lovely piece on electricity. It needs a power supply and a complete circuit to flow. If the power fails, or if there are any gaps in the circuit, the flow stops. That's good. Loads of marks there. Electrical appliances, 3 marks in here. It looks like he's done a good job with the drawing, but unfortunately on this he scored 11 out of 40. Talking about different appliances, and has received a C-. Disappointing, time wasting, detention. That's all it says at the bottom.
I really love it.
Particularly hardest teacher.
Disappointing, time wasting. That's great. That's
Please don't turn the page, man.
It looks alright though, because I just see
It looks
a
good,
lot of
doesn't
ticks, don't I?
But was that like what sort of 1/3 of the work that you were supposed to do?
It must have been. I probably didn't complete it by the looks of things.
Because you look like you've got 4 marks on the things you've done, but you
she
just
wasn't
went, oh,
happy.
it's just bullshit.
Yeah,
Clearly
maybe
wasn't
I'd
happy.
only copied off the board and not
Maybe
actually
there's
done
one
any
answer
work for
missing
myself.
Yeah, an answer missing, but I don't think
No.
that warrants like sort of.
But it kind of been worth 29 points.
Yeah. Disappointing, time wasting, detention. Page 100. Well, that's a lie because I'm 3 pages in here.
It's quite a funny comment.
Again, you've gone back to your roots here. You've talked about electricity again, and you've drawn an awesome graph about the amount of joules, I guess, or the cost rather, to run different appliances. You haven't labelled your x-axis, you twat, and it was done in detention, so no mark.
So for my efforts, beautiful graph, done in detention, so no mark.
It's a good one. So circuits, electricity heavy in this physics book. You need a complete circuit for electrical energy to flow. You've covered that. You've covered that a couple of times in here. And your graph, circuit numbers, voltage, and the bulb that they would, and their iridescence in numbers. And it looks okay. It's a perfectly graph, but unfortunately, Mrs. Frost thinks this is unacceptable. You should use a ruler. Not too bad. And then you've drawn light switches going up and down some stairs. and then underneath it, the light switches are at the top, bottom of the staircase. For the light to come on, the switches must touch, and there's just a line and a line, and there's just a line and just a line. And your teacher
Were you supposed to fill this in, were you?
Well, you've drawn it. You've done the question, but then not filled it in. So your teacher has filled it in with touch A and A or B and B, and it's got next to it U, and then a C minus, and the comment is, "Pull yourself together, Antonio."
So I'm getting the impression that she didn't like me very much.
Fucking right.
I didn't see it at the time,
And
but
she called
looking
you-
back on it now, I realise she hated me.
Yeah, you C minus.
What was the U for? I don't understand. There's a U and then a C minus, but you've only been
Unacceptable.
Yeah, maybe.
given up writing a full word unacceptable.
Is there anything else in that at the back? I think there's something at the
I
back.
tell you what, right? Because after that, mate, after pull yourself together, keep flicking through. She's
Pull
given up
yourself.
marking. There are no further marks in this book.
Yeah, either she couldn't be bothered, she didn't want to lower herself to my quality of work anymore, or I actually just managed to keep it from her. So I never handed in my book ever again.
I've got a degree in bloody
Those horrible comments.
physics.
Yeah.
Electricity there, Tone, also used to power radios, of course. Do you know who was credited with inventing the radio, although he had a large part in it, but there were loads of people involved in the invention of radio transmission.
Marconi.
Marconi. His great-granddad founded the Jameson Whiskey Company.
Oh,
Yeah, founded Jameson Whiskey.
so he was Irish.
That's cool.
Yeah, so he was. Marconi himself was good mates with Mussolini. In fact, Mussolini was his best man at his second wedding. Bit of a-
Pretty good mates.
Yeah, pretty fascist as well towards his later years, a bit of an apologist for Italy's fascist regime. But because of his work on the radio transmissions and the 2 radios that were used on the Titanic, as a thank you, they offered him a ticket on the Titanic, which he turned down being busy with other activities.
Oh, God.
Nice
Wow.
job. Some good Marconi facts, mate.
Thank you for those Marconi facts.
We've started a bit of education of Tone, and now it's time for the further re-education of Antonio Romola.
So yeah,
Moving on from physics now, mate, we're on to poetry. We're on to English.
yeah. Well, which I've actually written at the back of my physics book.
Okay. Is there a subject for the poem? Or?
Yeah, this poem. This was something that me and my mate who was sat in a chemistry lesson.
I'm
Your
so
physics
glad
book.
you. Of course, you remember the full context. I'm so
And,
glad about it.
we had a chemistry teacher who was called. We found out his first name. Like I don't know how. I think the poor guy told us when we tested him for it the one day.
It's
He
good,
was
isn't
just
it, when
like,
you
"Oh,
find out a teacher's
it's
first
Andy,
name?
It's Andy. But anyway, this poor teacher, right? He was the sort of teacher where you know the ones that you can take the mick out of loads because they're just not very good at being strict.
Oh,
And you're
no.
not scared of them, and everyone just spends the whole lesson like ripping into them, like chucking stuff at them, like fucking about, never working. And he never really raised his voice. He'd just be like, "Stop that now!" And people would just laugh at him, like laugh in his face. He was one of those teachers. Anyway, his name was, and we really took the mick the one day, and we decided to write this poem about him, which actually had a rhyme to it. There was a way, and I remember how it was sung. Now I can either read it out to you as it is and then sing it, or I can just sing it.
Just sing it, I say.
Shall I just sing it?
Please just
Please
sing
give
it.
us it in all its glory. That's my
Okay.
vote.
Do you need a beat or
Are
anything?
you ready for
Tone?
this? No. Ready?
Acapella,
Try not to make me
motherfucker.
laugh. I might stop and have to start.
I'm not
again.
going to look at you then.
Alright, ready? Andy, can't you see that you're ugly? Can't you see that it's Muttley who is sucking your balls? Andy, you get an orgy when you see a nugget and you know you want to fuck it. So fuck it, what's stopping you, your mother? Andy, you know you like to sniff shit. You little shit, you whore, you go play with someone else's balls. That was it?
That was it.
Yeah.
So it starts from that fucking song.
So, yeah,
in
so-
cats and
So it rhymes.
It rhymed.
It just
with
doesn't
the
make
song.
any. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
fucking
And
nugget.
we were well chuffed with that. We used to sing it every time.
Yeah,
we
what do
got
you mean he
into
gets an orgy when he.
And I
An
don't know.
orgasm when he fucks a nugget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he fucked a nugget.
Were you listening?
Poor guy. I attempted to cross this out as well, so you'd
Rubbishly
never see
told.
it. And that was actually why I wrote it in the back of my physics book, not my.
So that only your
not my
physics teacher
yeah,
would see
not my
it.
chemistry
Although
book.
she's given it marking by
Yeah,
that
but look
point.
at his attempt to scrub it out. We should really take the photo of this for
Yeah,
a like. 'Cause
yeah,
it's like,
definitely.
You can read it.
You're gonna get a lot of photos in on the Facebook page this
Yeah,
week, Tony.
but if you look, mate, I've scribbled out all the swear words, but I remembered the lines.
You've got more.
That was poetry and chemistry. Anyway, I go on to geography here. Right, now I've got a couple of answers to some questions here.
How
but
old
unfortunately, I haven't got the questions. But this was obviously like a little test that I did in geography.
If you'd like to read the answers, Ken.
It was
to
about
answer the
earthquakes.
question 1, earthquakes happen when 2 rocks are pushed together.
Yeah, that's kind of right, but
Cross.
Yeah.
Didn't get
And
that.
as rocks, there's like a wavy line underneath it and a big question mark above it. Rocks. The answer number 2. More people were killed in the poor city because they didn't have the security to warn them about the earthquake, and buildings weren't earthquake proof. Their property was cheaper. There's 3 ticks in that answer.
what?
Yep. Answer number 3. More people were killed. More people were killed in days after the shock.
3 days.
3 days, sorry. Right. More people were killed 3 days after the shock in the poor city because they wouldn't have the money to replace their homes and then become homeless and die. Now, homeless has got a tick through it, and the ending's got a tick on it, but there's also, it just asks why.
Homeless and
And
die.
die.
You got the tick.
Yeah.
Listen to
Very
that,
But
bit.
you just want to know more. And then answer number 4, the value of property destroyed is so different because the rich city building costed more money than the buildings in the poor city, and the rich city buildings costed more for earthquake-proof walls. 2 ticks in that one.
Dude, this totally links into what we were saying
to
about
give more-
you judging people on their shopping. Yeah, the rich people tend to buy more
Yeah.
expensive things.
Need to give more detail and a wider range of points.
How old are you at that? Is
Huh?
it the same year? Is it still year 10?
I reckon that must have been year 9. I reckon that was year 9 when I did earthquakes. Yeah.
Did earthquakes. So how do earthquakes happen?
Mate, I don't really know. When parts of the earth split, move apart, isn't it, from each other?
Not necessarily move apart.
Not necessarily
Sometimes
move
when
No,
Right.
when they rub against each other
Yeah, yeah.
slightly,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah,
And
yeah.
they're like moving next to each
Tectonic
other. But
plate
I
movement,
put
yeah.
2 rocks are pushed together.
So you knew, you definitely knew.
But it's-
somewhere, but it just, like, couldn't, yeah.
I
you
worded
couldn't
it
be asked to
wrong.
write anything more than 2 rocks.
You know, I'm not
Well,
mocking you, man.
she-
Like I said, I was terrible in school, and I apologise for it, man, all the way, because I was such a shit. So I'm not at any time mocking your effort, because you made at least some effort.
There's one more here, right? And obviously I'm saving the rest for next week. I'm saving.
Mate, I can't wait. We've had a song, we've had electricity.
Yeah.
I know how our circuit works now.
Right,
If
we're
there's
on.
gaps, you're fucked.
Yeah, I know.
We're on. Actually, I'm not sure what this is. I think it was part of English. No, it couldn't be. I don't know. But basically,
Written in English.
we had someone come and talk to us about homelessness, and I think they must have been from like.
Oh, the
from
earthquake
From the
people
poor city.
Yeah, from the poor city. We're from FEMA.
And-
Seems here that your property doesn't cost as much.
I don't know what. So, someone came in. I remember they were running a bit of a workshop on like they were trying to help us understand more about homelessness and the causes of it, and how important it is for people to not have such a narrow view of people on the streets and why they're there. Because I think when you're that age, you assume that they're on the streets and they do drugs and all that kind of stuff, and that might be their reason for being homeless. But they came to tell us that that's not actually the case. The
Some people just
reality,
haven't got anywhere to live.
yeah, the reality of the situation is whatever. And then part of my task in this workshop must have been to write an inspirational, to write a bit of a motivational speech to try and get people to think differently about homelessness.
Oh God.
And I actually think that it was I've done a really really good job.
Pages?
I've done a really really good job, right? But it seems like when I read through this, it seemed like I'd given it so much thought, and I was doing such a good job at writing it. But then I get to a point where I decide I'm gonna end it now. I'm just gonna end it. How do I end it? And it ends so abruptly.
Go from the beginning. You right? You ready?
Ready.
You've been chosen. Okay.
Ready?
This is this is your moment. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our keynote speaker for this evening's free soup and roll bash, Antonio Romola.
Thank you. Look at your life. Look at all you have. You have a house. You have a job. You have a family. You're living life. You're happy. And you're free. You're satisfied. And you know how good it feels to have all this. And so should everyone else in the world. But not everyone has these pleasures of life. There are people who have none of these resources of life. There are homeless people all over the world. They have no home. They have no job, no money. Some don't even have family and friends. We're selfish and greedy. We're thoughtless of these people living on the streets. All we need to do is give a bit of money to charities which will supply homeless people with food and shelter, and we don't even do that. All they ask for is a donation of £1 to £2. It's not much. It won't make us poor and homeless. We are well off. They can't even afford a chocolate bar. And that's how I decided to end it. That's how I decided to end it, right? And she's put at the bottom C-.
You're still disappointed, like
This is impressive, Antonio. Emotive language and its effective repetition. Remember to use paragraphs and full stops. I can't read it right inside. Yeah, anyway, someone's obviously scribbled something on this while I was writing it, and it was probably my mate who was sat next to me. He just wrote on the side of it, Bam Bam from the Flintstones. But I don't know.
Like Ron Burgundy when you finish, they can't even afford a chocolate bar. Bam Bam from the Flintstones.
Yeah, alongside this speech, we were.
I thought that was really good. Just talk about the speech quickly. I didn't think it was a C-. I thought
I know.
I'm
surprised. Unless I
if you had to end it.
It's a C-. That.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Oh, what the hell is up with that? Oh, being a bit harsh.
If
but
you
anyway,
took away, they can't even afford a chocolate bar. It'd be a lovely speech for a child to have written.
Alongside the speech, we had to write a poster which was supposed to make people want to give to the homeless.
Okay.
And granted, I must have had a lot of time on this, but I obviously pissed about, and then I just did something quickly.
C-.
And you'll have to put a picture up for this.
There's going to be
You'll
pictures
have
of
to take a
everything,
photo of this, mate. But all I did was Pritt stick a photo onto this blank piece of A4, and then above that I drew a house with the words in it, give a homeless shelter. And this is my poster to get people to donate to homeless people. That's all I did, because obviously didn't bother spend any time. And then I've got a D for this, and it says good presentational skills, Antonio. You must try to work more quickly.
In other words, this took ages.
I don't get it. Very modern language, effective use of repetition.
They were harsh, weren't
You
they?
remember your punctuation. C-. What good presentation skills?
Give a
D.
homeless shelter. Give shelter to a homeless.
Yeah.
Are
Give
you
a homeless. Because you're asking. I think she to give you a D because it sounds like you're asking for everybody to give one homeless shelter. So one full house per person for every one homeless person to live in.
Yeah. There's some absolute corkers for me to bring next week. I held back on all the best stuff because I wanted Justin to be here.
That's so. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait. Can't fucking wait, mate.
Just before we tie this up, Oman is a country. It begins with O.
Oman. Oh man. Did we say that at any point? I hope so.
No.
I really hope so.
No.
We can just slot it in.
Just edit it in.
I will do.
According to politicalresources.net, there is no country that begins with the letter X.
Oh.
They don't recognise Xylophone Landia, Dan.
First World War, right?
Yeah.
Centenary this year. Lots of stuff on the TV. Also, a report written by Dan Snow. Proves slightly controversial, actually. What percentage of British soldiers do you think came home from World War One? You think about World War One and
I reckon 20.
20%.
35?
88%.
Really?
88% of British soldiers came home. Physical and mental injuries, of course, but in terms of loss of life, not as great as people think. Obviously, loads, and he's not. That the report's going for some controversy, but it's just some preconceptions that we have. For instance, you weren't in trenches for very long. you were rotated from the front line, where of course sometimes battalions are wiped out just in a day. You were at the front for maybe 3 days out of the month, and then you were rotated slightly back further for 10 days out of the month, and then you were right behind field marshals and stuff, having showers and eating, and going back out.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, what about the percentage of like French that went home and all that kind of stuff?
Who cares, mate? Who cares?
I just wondered who lost the most. Germans?
Yeah, probably the Germans, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, 87% of them went on.
The lighter side of war there. Ralph Bayer died this week, unfortunately. He's 92 years old. It's kind of a hero of the week because he was a pioneer of the video game console. He sold the Odyssey machine, which was sold with the Magnavox TV. Pong, all the earliest computer games were based on his circuitry and his design. And the circuitry and design for Simon, the kid's toy with 4 colours on it, and you have to repeat the pattern.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's based on...
It's called Simon, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I didn't know that.
Do you remember that wheel with the farm animal noises that you had to turn?
Oh, yeah, they were great. They were really good. Because you cannot walk past one in a charity shop or a thrift store or anything without giving it a go.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time as well, it's like an internal, like a hearing aid battery that you got to replace by screwing out a panel. So sometimes they might be 25 years old. A cow goes on.
Mate, if I saw one of them, I'd buy it. Bring back so many memories that way.
The dying cow.
It was awesome, that one.
There was a phone that you found, a kid's phone that you found in every doctor's waiting room, every paediatrician's office. The Tomy phone that when you run across the floor, the eyes flicker and that. That was featured in Toy Story 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah.
And they retailed for like 30 quid. The official Toy Story Tomy phone that you could find fucking anywhere. That's good things you find sometimes at car boot sales, people selling Sega games and things like that. And it's just a nostalgia table.
Yeah, those toys have become classics really in a way, haven't they? Those
people love retro stuff, mate. It's all about fucking old clothes and old styles and swing and...
That guy in the market
Jazz.
sells lots of old games and stuff, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. That's a really good shot to go. But I always feel bad because I don't buy anything. I was like, no, I don't have the means to play a lot of these games. I'm sorry, but I really like going,
Yeah, the old Master System
yeah,
the blue grid,
yeah, huge
thing on the
things.
packaging.
Yeah,
First cartridge games, old SNES cartridges.
The guy that owns that shop was telling me today that he has a customer that comes in, right, and he asks him to dig out loads of different games for him to try, right, and he stands there and plays on all these games for about half an hour, and just doesn't buy anything, and he just turns around and says, "Oh, cheers. Yeah, I haven't got enough money on me today to buy anything, but I'll be back to give it another go. I'm definitely interested." And he just keeps coming in and asking to play on stuff, but doesn't buy anything.
Why does he not mind?
No, he's really pissed off about it, mate. He was like, he goes, at first I thought he had something wrong with him, so I didn't want to say anything.
He's definitely got something wrong with him.
But he was like, I'm gonna have to say something to him because he gets me to dig out all these games and have to put batteries in them for him and stuff, thinking that maybe he's gonna buy something. Yeah. And he said he's come in and done it about 3 times now. He said, I got the picture now that he's probably not going to spend any money. Yeah.
No whatsoever, because he's like, well, this guy will keep digging it out. He's just a nice old video game shop owner.
And he said that someone came in the other day and they came in with a Sega Mega Drive that they wanted him to fix, that they hadn't even bought from his shop. But he said that the guy had been in his shop like a few days before, asking him for the price of the Sega, and it was obviously too expensive for him. So anyway, when this guy came in with the Sega that he'd bought online and said to him, "Can you fix this for me? I bought it online, but it was, but it's something's not right with it. Can you work it out for me? Can you fix it?" He turned around to him and he said, "Hang on a minute, didn't you come here looking for a Sega?" He was like, "Yeah, but the thing is, you were £5 more expensive than online." He was like, "Right, so you've bought." So you wouldn't buy it off me because of £5. You've gone and bought something online. Now it doesn't work, and you want me to fix it. He goes, when you could have just bought it from here. Tried it.
That's not all right.
And no, he goes, no. And then he was like, well, I can charge.
No!
He was like, I can charge you to fix it.
20 quid.
And he was like, and he was like, oh, how much? And he said 30 quid. And he was like, but that's how much it would have cost. The customer said to him, that's how much it would have cost me to buy the Sega off you anyway. And he was like,
that's
well,
right.
yeah, exactly. He goes,
yeah.
so.
technically you are buying a Sega.
So
off me
now
because
you're
doesn't
by
work.
going online and buying something that you couldn't even check if it was working or not, you're now having to pay the same amount you would have paid to buy it off me to fix it.
Well, that's fine, because you would just say, no, don't fix this Sega that might not be fixable, and I'll still have to give you the money for labour. I'll buy that Sega. What your mate should have done is to go, well, yeah, it can't be fixed, unfortunately. You know, the circuitry's just too old now. You know, and I can't replace it. I've got a Sega though. Unfortunately, due to a massive demand, it's 100 quid. So, fuck off out my shop. I remember there was a game that came out that my maybe an aunt or something bought me. And it turned out that it was like it was a girls' game. It was supposed to be platform, but it was a game for girls, man. And that is Echo the Dolphin.
Oh man,
Wow, that is.
it's a weird game, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Just going around getting rings.
how
of air
many
and
years has
stuff
it
like
been since I actually thought of Echo the Dolphin? That's amazing, man.
that. It was like, right, it's a dolphin. It's better. This dolphin better get some fucking powers, like soon.
Yeah, you better be one of those CIA
Oh,
dolphins.
swim faster, banging. That's awesome. Yeah,
Imagine
more
that,
time.
the CIA edition, and he was like one of those,
Just
blowing
fucks off.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Have you seen the Michael Jackson game called Moonwalker?
Yeah, I have.
I
Yeah.
remember, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing, man.
You throw your hat and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that at people, and
Yeah.
you do the kick.
Yeah,
You
it's
grab your
amazing.
crotch menacingly, and children fly. The reward is 10 kids per level, and then the big boss at the end is the police and social services.
The soundtrack is just, as you're walking along, kicking butt, it's just... Do you know that he had there was a ride, a simulator, in Walt Disney Disneyland that was, written and like created around him. Do you know that?
The Michael Jackson roller coaster
No.
simulator.
It was like a simulator.
You got to be him, or you got to like go to
No, it was
court
like a
and stuff?
mission. There was like a mission or something, and you go on this mission with him and stuff. And it was called Captain EO. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, man. I remember like.
Let's get some links up to
You know
Captain
what?
EO.
I don't know if you ever had like
EO?
Walt Disney films on like tape, but the adverts for Disneyland on them used to feature that like clips from that ride.
Jesus.
What is it, Captain EO?
Yeah, Captain EO,
How do you
mate.
spell it?
And EO,
Just
just
EO.
EO, yeah. And it was like he was in this amazing white suit, and there were all these like characters in there, like these like weird little alien things, and you could buy loads of shit on it. Like you could buy like figures of Michael
Yeah,
Jackson. You
Captain
could buy
EO
t-shirts,
is-
watches.
Captain EO is a 1986 American 3D science fiction film starring Michael Jackson, directed by Francis Ford Coppola.
Holy
That was
shit.
shown at Disney theme parks from
3D.
1986 through 1996. It's 17 minutes long.
So he did Jack and that when?
It's on YouTube.
I wish I could have gone to Disney when that.
Link up to Captain fucking EO then on YouTube.
It's EO, but like in capitals, so Captain EO.
That's incredible. Well intoned.
Yeah, I've never ever.
It's crazy that you could
What
go
the
to
hell is
Disneyland
this?
and bloody.
I tell you what, you got a point, man. He had some clout because the screenplay was written by Francis Ford Coppola, Rusty Lemorand, and George Lucas.
Holy shit.
When I went to Disneyland, it was Star Wars, the simulator ride. It was
Rightly
based
so.
around Star Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's.
as it should be.
I wish it had been that, man.
Yeah,
I watched
sure,
it. I
Michael.
watched it on YouTube. The video, the 17-minute footage. It is amazing. So cool, man.
Well, you know my thoughts and feelings on Michael
He
Jackson.
shoots lightning bolts out of his hands and that, like, and like feet take down these like aliens and that. It's fucking brilliant.
Oh, what I had to show you as well is an absolutely cracking video. Ken, do you mind if I borrow your laptop quickly?
Not at all.
All right, there's a chap in the Netherlands has come up with an ingenious way of showing off his house that he's trying to sell. So I'll chuck a link up to this video. We'll also show it to you boys right now. Right, let's finish up. It's a week of no cunts. The autumn statement was made. Deficit
A
currently
week
stands
of
at...
no cunts.
I'm sure there is somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, autumn statement. Old Ozzy Osbourne. No, the other one. Sorry. Just
Gideon.
confirmed. Yeah, Gideon confirmed that the deficit is now at 152 squillion pounds. So but we're going to build a road under Stonehenge, so everything's fine. Because I'm sure there's gold under there. Sure of it.
Is that why they built it there, to remember where they put the gold?
Yeah, I think so. And they just left it.
Oh, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it? But they would never try and dig. They would never try and dig up by there, would they? Just in case the rocks fall.
What do you mean? It's a proposition, mate.
Is it genuine?
Yeah.
They won't know, would they?
Well, they're not. They're not really moving it. Stonehenge is the heritage site, not the land that's
No.
underneath it.
No.
Yeah, but a long way underneath. Think about it, man. The Channel Tunnel's through the ground, but it's under the English Channel, isn't it? So it's under the sea. So you could go pretty deep down, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could.
Oh, awesome. They're doing that then, are they?
But it's a proposal, £15 billion worth of new roads after the announcement. Because there's an election coming up, people have to seem a bit proactive about stuff. David Cameron just in Sheffield, not doing anything, just
That'd be awesome.
walking
Just
about.
going there for the first time. And like,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
what's this?
Jesus Christ, what the?
Have they
bloody
only
hell?
just thought about that then, after all these years, to check underneath it?
They're not checking. The
No,
road is
build
the
a road
idea.
underneath it.
Right. Right.
There might be gold. The stones might go all the way down to the bottom, and that's
Oh.
why they've stayed up for so long.
Yeah.
they might discover the foundations and go, we can't.
To the bottom, wouldn't they just come out the other side?
What? Of the earth? No, they'd melt in the magma, Ken, all the way down to the sea, water.
Magma.
Are you ready, Tone?
Go on then.
We'll finish up on a question of tone, I reckon. Oh wow, wow. Oh wow, wow. Oh wow, wow. Yeah, we couldn't get the sound effect this week, so you had to deal with it a cappella. But we've had a bit of that today with your poetry, Tone. Absolutely love
I
it.
don't think anyone will be able to tell the difference with that. Seamless. It's like the original singer was in the room.
I'll cut out the bit where I say, yeah, we missed the sound effect, and I think we'll be fine. Tone, it's December the 10th today. It's actually Human Rights Day.
Right.
Right.
Keep going
Yeah.
down.
What rights do you think people should have?
Oh, do you know, it's something that I thought of. There was something that I thought of.
I was
some
hoping you
time
would
ago.
have read some philosophy and we would channel your philosophical mind. Well, I say I. So
I
I think
think-
Steph, who
I
lives in
think-
Porth.
Yeah,
Hello,
I've got
Steph.
one. I've got one that I've always believed in. As ridiculous as it may sound, I believe that people should have the right to build a home wherever they want. If it is like just like no man's land, if it is just like an empty wild life area or something.
Well, you can
So
knock,
obviously,
you can
like,
chop down loads
I
of
don't
trees,
think you could just like say, "Oh, I'm gonna build my house in the middle of this freeway," and that's exactly what I'm going to say. I don't mean that. I mean like
You
if
can't go to
this
Stonehenge
space
and
that
build a
hasn't been
house there.
taken, this space that hasn't been used,
Yeah.
no one's really using it. I think that we should be allowed. I think it's a shame that we've lost. You can't really say it's a free world anymore, can you?
Wow.
Whereas once upon a time it was, and man could fight for, their land and fight for what they wanted to be theirs. Now everything is controlled.
Exactly. You'd have to fight.
No
Without
rules.
law and order, Tone, there is no freedom, mate.
So I think we deserve the right to build on wherever we
You
want.
want to live
So-
in the Wild West, really, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
That's what's coming out tonight. That's what I'm hearing, mate.
You want to ride into a town, clean up some
I think
Horrible
taxes
people.
should be a choice. I think we should have the right to say no to paying taxes.
that's kind of the idea of a tax, though, isn't it? That it is compulsory. It's just something we all do. So shut up about it because we all do it.
Yeah, but I don't even pay taxes really yet because I haven't earned enough to pay any.
Oh right.
No,
good.
I'm not. Yeah.
And you're
Um,
already whinging about them.
No, but I just think no. It's not that I think that we.
So you
should
do have the
be-
right not to pay taxes.
It's
You
not
just
that I-
can't earn very much money.
it's not that I think. It's not that I think that we should be allowed to say no to it altogether. But I think because we pay taxes,
Yeah.
we should have the right to choose where our tax money
yes.
goes.
This is a thing that
Yeah.
a
Right?
lot of people say this, yeah.
So, and I think that people are in their right to say, I refuse to pay all my taxes on the basis that I don't want so much percentage of it to go to that, so much percentage of it to go to that. And by it going to that, I refuse to pay all taxes until you decide, until you let me choose where I want my tax money to go.
So you have like a tick box form, and you
And
like
I feel
bins,
really
those are
strongly
a
about that
priority.
because I feel like if this is something that you really don't believe in, why
Yeah.
would you want to fund it? Why would you want to take part in funding it if it's something you don't believe that you should be supporting? Like if any of your tax money goes towards weaponry, and you're a complete pacifist against war and stuff,
Mhm.
You should be allowed to say no. I don't want to give money that goes towards.
I don't want to fund Trident.
You know, I don't want to
For
fund.
example.
I don't want to fund like industrial. You know,
Yeah.
advancements. I don't like. You know, I don't want to fund like factory, like a nuclear.
Yeah,
sort of,
yeah.
GM
GM fruit and veg.
or
And
whatever.
vaccines.
Yeah,
I don't want
of
it to go to
course.
vaccines.
I don't know. So yeah, that's one. What else?
So with discounting
So
all
no
the big ones.
technological advancements.
You
Build a
said
house for
industrial advancements. I think what you mean is like no more. I don't want it to go to fossil fuels. I want my money to go to clean energy. So.
I think people should be allowed to play music wherever they want, whenever they want, without a license. Fuck this busking license that you need to have, like to be on the
Oh
street.
right, to play on Instagram.
I
I thought
think
you meant
there
like
should
those
be
people
freedom.
that have it playing on their phones and
Oh, yeah,
wander
no.
about
No,
or sit
no, I
on
think there
buses.
should be freedom
Fuck
for
that.
people to be able to just set up in the middle of a street and preach something if they wanted to. I think they should be allowed to play music to people. I think they should just be allowed to simply shout out to crowds and say, has anyone looked at that, you know,
No,
that person over there in that shop selling that stuff? Isn't that wrong that they're selling that in this day and age? Is it, you know, I feel like we should have freedom to be able to speak out against
I think
anything
we
we
do to a
want.
certain extent, don't we, man? What if somebody was
No,
preaching?
without someone saying you're not allowed to be there. You're not allowed to. You're not like.
I know
you're
what you
causing
mean,
public
busking licenses,
Yeah,
and
of
that you need
course.
permission to do certain things in what, you know, should be public spaces.
When you're saying about preaching and saying what they like, what if they were saying hateful things, or if they were spouting like racist or like, you know?
Yeah, what if he was talking about your shop when he said,
So don't shop
look at what
here.
that man is doing.
This is bollocks.
well, that
Say
changes
fruits of
everything.
the world, but it's not.
That changes everything.
It's
Ken.
fruits of the Nazis.
No,
Fruits
yeah,
of the
obviously,
Nazis.
well-
Another good suggestion for a name.
Now that you're saying that, I can see why there is why we haven't got that right. There's a rule in place.
Anything else that we can turn you round on like that? What about the right to bear arms? The Second Amendment in America that states that everybody should be able to keep a pair of
No,
bear's arms above
I
their
think
thigh.
only if there's a threat. If there's a threat and you need to be able to protect yourself, then yeah.
So yeah, you support it then because you need a.
But I think if
You haven't
that-
got a watch on that detects threats coming, and then you go and buy a gun.
Yeah.
You've walked into the wrong shop.
But I think there should be like terms and conditions to that and limitations. So you can't actually have a gun. I think you can't have something that you can use from like a distance away from the person.
You've got to get right up and see the whites of their eyes.
Yeah, because I think that kind of
Knives is what you're talking
No,
about.
yeah, because what I'm
knives.
saying is, it goes against it contradicts the whole thing of self-defense. Sure, if you're in a position where you need to defend yourself, where your life is at risk, surely that is going to be happening in close proximity to the enemy, right?
No, if they got a gun,
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. If no one's allowed a gun,
right?
then you're only at risk, and your life is only threatened to the point where you can self-defend if that person is close enough to you to be physically attacking you.
So you've done it again from totally agreeing and going, yeah, definitely, if your life's in danger, no guns though. So you're right to have knives. No, it's a difficult one. That's why I
No,
was
but that's
asking.
his point. You don't have the right to a gun then.
You should be allowed
Yeah.
to carry, like a spear with you or a knife.
What
or
in the street?
That's a distance weapon, a spear.
Yeah,
surely.
yeah.
Wait.
Okay, fine. Maybe just a shield with a little dagger,
Shield.
or just a shield, because you can use a shield to knock someone out with, can't you? I guess if it's made of metal, or even wood, solid,
Fucking Hobbiton is where you
Solid
live, mate.
wood.
Always.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just a shield and a dagger under my axe. Thank you, Gimli. I'll take that on my merry way.
No, in all honesty, I think if they just got rid of all weaponry, then there wouldn't be a risk, would there, of
How would you cut your onions before a
to murder
lovely?
someone would be hard.
before a
work.
lovely
You'd have to
stew?
choke them or
Or throw them off a roof or
throw
something.
them off, push them, or kick them really hard.
Well, but would you get rid of cars because you could run someone over?
Get rid of buildings because you can't choke people off them. You're not allowed to scare people into shooting
Yeah,
themselves.
no buildings, no cars.
No body bags, so that everybody knows that every murder has to be investigated. Like now.
I just thought of another right that we should have. We should be allowed to hunt. We should be allowed to hunt any animals we want if it's for eating.
What do you mean?
Well,
So if you take a
it
fancy
goes-
to
it goes
someone's
back-
dog,
it
you
goes
can
back-
hunt
It
it.
goes back to my first point. It's a free world, isn't it? It should
Yeah.
be a free world. That animal is wild. If you don't want to go to supermarkets and spend money on buying meat, You want to
Yeah, get up at 4 in the morning. and go find a fox.
You
and
rather
some
go out and
bins.
catch yourself.
Or-
You're in your human. It's your human right to nature. You are in your right to feed yourself from what nature
Yeah, but
provides. Mother Nature.
Yeah, but what if
provides.
there's people who can't be asked getting up like cancers at 4
I
a.m. to
don't
go hunting?
I
Why
don't
they
think
just like,
Tone can, because you could go rabbiting now, couldn't you?
Right, the thing is, we're paying, aren't we? When we pay for meat, we're paying for other people to do the work of catching it,
we're
skinning
paying for
it.
livestock. You don't have to hunt cows. That's the point.
We
isn't
don't
it?
have to pay. We don't have to pay for it if we're going to hunt it ourselves.
Yeah, but so if someone owns the livestock or the land, that's the issue, isn't it? It's about not being
Oh yeah,
culture.
you can't just break into someone's like field, like farm, and just like freaking like
Where the
take all
animals
their
are.
chickens.
Can't do
like,
that. You can't
and
go
a
where the
cow.
cows are.
Oh, today I'm going to
Or
take
the
a
sheep
cow and a
are.
couple of chickens. I'll be back tomorrow. If
So
that's
how
all right.
many wild animals do you think there are?
What in Britain?
Well, just around, yeah.
There's loads of wild animals, isn't there?
Well, you're gonna live off a couple of stray dogs.
That's what I'm thinking. People who can't be asked out would just like go outside and snap a cat
Yeah, I know, 'cause
and go, well, I'm going to eat it. So
You can go rabbiting now, can't you?
Oh, badgers, squirrels.
badgers.
Yeah, a bit less of the TV, but
Yeah. Like boar. Are you on about Tone? Like wild horses.
Have we got any wild horses in Britain now? Probably
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Forest.
forests.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's deer in there.
Yeah, tons of deer. We saw them in centre parks. So we could go to centre parks. We go on a hunting party to centre parks. What you're after? There'll be squirrel kebab, followed by some venison in the evening, some minced baby venison. Tone. Get a grip.
I'm trying to think. There must be loads of things I think we should have right to. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Well, we're pretty sure that you're okay with free speech,
Mm.
and that you can preach anything so long as it's not outside your shop, and that you should have the right to bear arms but no guns.
I
Yeah,
think.
he wants to live in some weird mashup of like it's like the Lord of the Rings meets
I think.
Wild West kind of.
Yeah.
I think people should have the right to sell things from their home, and make money off things from the home without needing, signed on to HM Revenue. What if I
Sorry.
decided that I wanted to start, making some like chili chutneys
What have
or
you got
that,
your-
and then just putting a little table outside my front door and just selling it to people walking by? Like, actually, I should be allowed to
Do you
do that.
reckon that'd be successful?
No, not at
Tone's
all.
chili chutneys.
Not at all, because they'd be like,
Go
"What,
start
who's that
somewhere."
fucking weirdo selling like homemade chutneys like along the main road there?"
So your neighbour would have seen you, beating a tyre with a fucking crowbar and then selling chutney, and he's writing his memoirs now.
I don't know. But I don't know. Yeah, I think there's something in that. I think people should be allowed to sort of like...
What have you got your eye on?
Huh?
Is there someone in here you've got your eye on that you want to make down an offer for?
Or in your home.
Yeah, what are you trying to get rid of? What are you trying to sell?
I'm trying to sell Lauren.
What am I
mate.
thinking? He's not trying to
Oh,
buy
mate,
it.
I've got
is he?
loads of things I could sell at the moment.
Now we've hit upon it.
I got
Tone's trying to attempt to make some money.
It's alright, so we'll use the end of this podcast for the free ads for yourself.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh yeah, actually no, can I? Just
Yeah, go ahead.
okay, I've got a drum kit in my house. I've had it for many years now, and it's hardly been played. It's in pretty good nick.
It's not.
But the thing with it
Wait.
is the drum kit itself, when it was bought, was quite cheap. But I've bought like really good quality cymbals and a hi-hat to go with it. So I got a ride, I got a crash, I got a hi-hat, which are actually pretty good quality. Now I'll charge you for the cymbals, the hi-hat, but not the drum kit. So I'll just whack the drum kit in for free. So for the 3 cymbals, which were expensive to buy, overall I'm charging you 150 quid. And you can
Fuck it! Ah.
150 quid and you can have the lot. Anyone want it? Give me a call on 07840 622 189.
Your call, mate. So yeah, if anybody wants to buy that drum kit or just send Antonio abuse on
Yeah,
that phone
please
number,
do.
or like text him like sort of 3 AM or text him photos of your fucking balls and that. Please.
He
do.
likes that. He likes things like that.
He does, yeah. You can also do that on the Twitter account. You can follow us all at The Last 7, or you can email us, thelast7podcast@gmail.com. Like, watch, and share the videos on YouTube and Facebook, of course.
Yeah. But don't question Tone directly. Still do it through us.
Actually, can I put my price up to £200?
No, you
I
cannot.
just realised. Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course you can.
£200. Yeah. Oh, okay. I might push to 180.
Are
You
haggling-
haggling with yourself.
You can
You said
haggle with me if you want.
150, so they'll go, well, yeah, 150. Definitely, because that's what you said first of all.
What else have you got to sell?
I've got a few things. Oh, I've collected a couple of magazines over the years.
Bet you have.
No, not dirty ones.
don't
like,
Sorry.
music mags. Just for the covers and stuff, really. I've got a good
What? So they're
collection.
mint condition. They're not
Yeah,
unopened.
I think they're Mojo. I've got one with Queen on the cover.
Stack of Mojo.
I got one with Pink Floyd, one with Beatles on the
nice,
cover.
yeah.
I got one with The Jam. I got one with Bruce Springsteen. I got all sorts of really cool bands on the covers. Really nice covers. Jimi Hendrix is on one.
Come on in, Tone. What's your best price? All the stack of Mojo. Come
You
on,
can
make
have,
me a deal.
you can have
here.
the whole lot. I think I've got about 12 or 15 issues. Yeah, you can have them for 30 quid.
Unbelievable. Incredulous.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I know,
that-
it's
20,
never going to
20.
happen.
20.
20 quid.
Still not going to happen. bro.
£10.
Frame them all.
£10 for the lot of Mojo. Frame them all. So you've got to pay for the frames as
Oh,
well.
I'll go with 15.
I try to think about what else is in your house, like that broken microwave. Do you want to try and sell that?
30 quid. Do use the phone number, and on that note, I'd like to say thank you to my co-participants this evening, Ken Trainer.
Tazos, I got Tazos.
Ken Trainer
Thank you very much, everyone.
and Antonio, the philosopher, the physicist, poet, hobbit.
Salesman.
Shield and Daggerbearer. Yeah, thanks.
You've got the right to bear arms, and you've got the right to bear tiny hairy feet as well.
And sell chili chutney.
Are you on now?
Come see me, 46 Leonard Street. Chili chutneys. I haven't made them yet, but folks, they'll be good.
It'll be there
£10
by the time.
a jar.
Yeah, by the time you get around there, you'll have loads of chili chutney. £10 a jar.
I have 2 questions for our listeners. First question is, does anyone own an allotment that's of a decent size?
I'm
And
broad. You think our listenership is,
if you do,
I'm
would
touched.
you be willing to, if I can cut you a percentage, would you be willing to grow me a lot of vegetables that are on high demand to the British public, so that I can sell them in my shop and I will give you a percentage of profits? That'd be great. Question 2, does anyone have any chickens for sale, live chickens?
Because you'd love to kill some.
Because I'd like maybe 2, so I can start getting them to lay some eggs and sell the eggs and stuff. Again, I will give you a percentage of every egg sold.
Why? They'd be your chicken.
No,
Oh,
you
don't want to keep the chickens.
no. They keep the chickens.
You can keep your own chickens.
You keep the chickens. You tend to them. You just get them to lay some eggs.
I just make money from the eggs that you could sell yourself. It's a prime business deal. Because I imagine you eat all of those eggs, right? You don't sell any yourself because you own a lot of chickens. So give them to me, I'll sell them, and I'll give you a little bit of money. Like less money than you'd make from selling the eggs yourself, but also I'd make money as well. So everyone's a winner. You less so, but me more so, which is 0 now because I'm not involved in your business. So
Should do that as a feature. Questions from Tone and play the theme tune backwards.
excellent. Start off with applause and then just go to
I hope someone gets back to me on some
Yeah.
of those things.
fucking a lot.
I'd love it if someone bought my drum.
Yeah.
I'd love it if someone bought my drum kit off me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be happy to trade my drum kit for a bongo.
That's right. 1 carton of Umbongo will get an entire drum kit.
I tell you what, if you trade me a bongo drum, I'll take 100 quid on the bongo.
Sorry, swap. Was it?
Well, yeah, because I was going to charge 150, wasn't I? 100.
No, you just said now. I'll swap it for a bongo.
Yeah, with plus 100 quid.
No. You said swap it with a bongo first of all, and then you went. I tell you what, I'm in that much of a good mood. If I can swap the drum kit for a bongo, I'll only charge you 100 quid for the drum kit.
Yeah.
Yeah. After you said swap.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. I'm not a very good salesman.
I know. I don't think retail's something you should go into, mate.